Well, I'm back in the saddle again. Well, so to speak, anyway. I technically was back in the saddle yesterday with my live stream, but I'm making another video. Regardless, in light of the hashtag #MeToo movement, some have come out about how they believe that this very loud, very evident movement, very open to the public movement, could be taken out of hand and subsequently used as a tool to strike down political and, to an extent, social dissidents, as you can see here. This, of course, just being one of the examples, and I'll leave links in the description to other various articles on the movement. But let me get to the article in question. As you can see here, as though asking a person, a coworker in this case, out on a date isn't difficult enough, the cunts over at NBC put their collective waterheads together and came up with some disturbing new rules. And this is going to get worse later on, but let's deal with the cancer at hand. But first, everyone make your bleach cheenies, because we're diving into the fucking lion's den here. Now, the first part that bugs me is the whole snitching thing. As a business, how do you not see how this could be taken advantage of? Want the job of your superior? Want to get rid of that one guy in accounting you really don't like? Hey, just go to his or her superior and snitch on them. Jesus, tap dancing Christ, this is spiraling out of control, and it's, from the outside looking in, fucking hilarious. Also, inappropriate relationships in the workplace. So it's official now. Adults can't adult at NBC. And to go even further down this hole, we can have a look and a chuckle at this. Well, to start this off, I have to ask, what of colleagues that have had relationships before this ridiculous precedent was set? Are they no longer allowed to date? What if they're married? And aside from that, I understand that some companies have rules against office dating, but obviously NBC didn't. So to drop this on their employees just because Matt Lauer was allegedly being a pig is, well, frankly, a dick move. And outside of snitching, which I already covered, how that's a bad idea, how are they planning on enforcing this? But wait, there's more. And just a little, just like a shitty infomercial, this will make you cringe. Now, the first thing I have to ask about the vegan thing, since relationships are forbidden, why would they take anyone anywhere, let alone a vegan to a steakhouse? And let's say, for the sake of argument, you're just friends. Okay, but if your friends, wouldn't it stand to reason that you'd know that a person is vegan and therefore wouldn't know to avoid steakhouses? Unless you're, being a dick. As for the whole taxi thing, like, what? What if they're roommates? The shit is just so authoritarian. Also, I'd like to get a look at the other strict rules they have. If these two are any indication of the rest, I can only assume it's a massive fucking dumpster fire. But this is all coming down after Lauer, a TV host at NBC, was accused of sexual misconduct in the form of him making advances to a colleague in the 2014 Sochi Olympics. Now, more have come forward in light of this, but keep in mind these are accusations and are not yet proven to be true. So the question I have is, why essentially punish all of your employers just because one guy is being a cunt? Before the accusations are even proven, for that matter. But, of course, this isn't the only thing that has come from NBC recently that gives me a chuckle. I point to this gem of an article here. So kick back while I tear this whole article a new asshole. First thing first, the whole everyone I disagree with is a Nazi thing is getting tiring and incredibly dumb. Stop that fucking shit, you slowhead. Those of us who advocate for free speech aren't quote-unquote defending Nazis any more than we are quote-unquote defending communists by advocating for their free speech. Now bear in mind, this is the same asshole who would probably call anyone to the right of Stalin a fucking Nazi, because the writer has never been outside of his ultra-liberal bubble in his entire damn fucking life. As for the rest of this piece, I find myself in agreement with the ACLU. Life is a funny thing, isn't it? As for the writer, I think you should take a look at this. But expecting this individual to not only read a section of the Bill of Rights, but also to understand it is, well, hopeful to say the least. But let's go further down this rabbit hole. Now, the article that Delgado and I can't pronounce that last guy's name, so I'm just going to call him Stefan, have written that is referred to here is linked in the description. It's an interesting read, to say the least. But I'm here to tear apart the points in the article here. They have the audacity to say that, in fact, regulating hate speech, which they don't define here, I might add, so there's a multitude of levels of ambiguity, would make the United States a fairer, more equal, and less hateful place. Like, these dumbasses don't realize that just because a person isn't saying things doesn't mean that they're not thinking them. You can't legislate a person's thoughts and their behaviors, you incredibly and intellectually absent fucking idiots. But these two further prove that they don't understand the fundamental purpose of the First Amendment here. Seriously, stop making everyone out to be neo-Nazis for fuck's sake. It's getting old, ridiculous, and it makes you look like a fucking mental midget. Or rather, proves that you are a mental midget. Defending a person's ability to simply speak doesn't mean that I, or anyone for that matter, are sympathetic to their beliefs. It's one thing to say, hey, let this person speak, and another thing to say, hey, I agree with this person, I'm sympathetic to their beliefs. But when you're under the influence of hysteria, a person's brain tends to stop functioning rationally and focuses more on the emotional side of it. And with hysteria being raised, painting anyone that isn't ultra-liberal as a white supremacist Nazi sympathizer, I digress. But they said that these two make a compelling case, but the writer says that these two make a compelling case against maintaining our First Amendment as it is. Because God knows, chipping away at our foundations or society is always an incredibly marvelous fucking idea. Anyway, here it starts off with an idiotic statement that makes it out as though words can actually do physical harm, which, no, they fucking can't. If you get offended, that's on you. Stop being such a mentally fragile little child, for the fuck's sake. You're supposed to be an adult. Did mommy and daddy not tell you that sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you? As for Milo, he didn't harass anyone. If trans folk went to his event and got offended, guess what? That's on them. They could not fucking go. Just because you get offended doesn't mean that everybody else is going to get offended. That is on you, personally, as an individual. Get the fuck out of here with that stupid shit. The rest of us are under no social obligation to walk on eggshells around you, you easily triggered fucking snowflakes. As for marginalized groups, do these dumbasses realize that Milo is gay? And that he has a preference and is married to a black dude? Anyway, moving on. Looking at this further proves that these two are idiotic. A lot of things that existed along slavery doesn't mean that those things played a fucking hand in it, held it up, or were proponents in it. So put that virtual virtue signaling card away, you dipshit. I'm not buying your fucking snake oil. It only makes it look like you are further have your head up your own fucking ass. But it degrades even further, as seen here. As for those people who you do realize that those protests were quite chaotic, right? And that people on the alt-right or the Nazis side were also arrested that were not being violent. You're not making a good case for yourself. Restricting free speech would make it easier to arrest people for protesting, you fucking drooly. But the rest of this article continues down this same path, and if I went over the whole thing piece by piece, this video would probably be damn near a half an hour long. So, with that, to avoid the monotony and the repetitiveness that I usually have in most of my videos, I'm going to end the the purview of this there. If you wish to read further into it, the article will be linked in the description where you can go read if you feel so compelled to further reduce your IQ. It will be there and you can read it, as well as the other article I started with. Now, with that being said, I think that just does it for this video. So, wrapping this up, I will see you glorious cunts. Well, provided everything works out, I'll be seeing you in a live stream tomorrow. And then maybe a live stream on Saturday if all my plans work out the way that they're supposed to. But I digress. I'm rambling. I will see you glorious cunts eventually. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, and or night. I'll see you later.